The sound of shattering glass pierces the summer evening, and everyone at our family barbecue freezes. Jessica's phone lies broken at my feet, its screen a spider web of cracks, revealing messages that were never meant for my eyes. My perfect sister's mask has finally slipped. I'm Sophia, and until 30 seconds ago, I was doing what I always do at these gatherings, blending into the background while Jessica holds court. But now, as I stare at the incriminating evidence scattered across our parents' pristine patio, I realize everything is about to change. "You had no right," Jessica hisses, her manicured hands trembling as she reaches for the phone. "That's private. Private like the $50,000 you owe Eli." The words escape before I can stop them, loud enough for our parents to hear. The collective gasp from our gathered family members is almost comical. Mother's wine glass stops halfway to her lips. "Jessica, what is she talking about?" My sister's face contorts into that familiar expression, the one that always worked on our parents, the one that made them believe her every lie. "It's nothing, Mother. Sophia's just trying to cause trouble, like always." "Show them the messages, Jess." I cross my arms, standing my ground for once. "Show them how you've been borrowing money from Eli for months. Show them the threats he's been sending." Father steps forward, his graying hair catching the last rays of sunlight. "Jessica, is this true?" "Of course not." But her voice cracks, and I see the moment our parents finally notice what I've seen for years, the desperation behind her perfect smile. Aunt Maggie moves closer to me, her presence steady and reassuring. She's always been the only one who saw through Jessica's act. "I can explain everything," Jessica says, but her usual confidence is crumbling. "Eli's just helping me with some temporary cash flow issues. It's all under control." I laugh, and the sound is bitter even to my own ears. "Under control? Is that what you call it when someone threatens to expose your gambling debts to your employer?" Mother's wine glass finally makes it to the table with a sharp clink. "Gambling? Jessica, please tell me this isn't true." But Jessica's silence speaks volumes. Her perfectly curated image, the successful marketing executive, the dutiful daughter, the sister who could do no wrong, dissolves in the heavy summer air. "I was going to fix it," she whispers, and for the first time in my life, I see real fear in my sister's eyes. "Nobody was supposed to know." "Know what?" Father's voice has that dangerous edge to it, the one we rarely hear. "That our daughter is being blackmailed, that she's gambling away her future." I should feel triumphant. After years of living in Jessica's shadow, watching our parents fawn over her every achievement while dismissing mine, this should be sweet revenge. Instead, I feel hollow as I watch tears streak her expensive makeup. "I need help," she admits, and the words seem to physically pain her. "Please, I don't know what to do anymore." Mother and father rush to her side, of course. Even now, even after everything, they gravitate toward her pain, like moths to flame. I stand apart, watching as they envelop her in comfort, already strategizing how to fix their golden child's latest crisis. Aunt Maggie's hand finds my shoulder. "You okay, kiddo?" "I'm fine," I lie, but my hands are shaking. Someone had to tell them eventually. "You know this changes everything," she murmurs, low enough that only I can hear. I nod, watching as my family huddles around Jessica, their backs turned to me. In exposing her secret, I've set something in motion that none of us can stop. The realization fills me with equal parts dread and anticipation. "I know," I whisper back, already calculating my next move. Because while Jessica's facade has cracked, mine is just beginning to form. That's exactly what I'm counting on. 3 days after the barbecue disaster, I sit in Professor David's office, staring at my graduate thesis proposal, while my phone buzzes incessantly with family messages I refuse to read. "Your analysis of corporate restructuring strategies is exceptional, Sophia," David says, tapping my paper with his pen. "But something tells me your mind isn't here today." I force my attention back to the present. "I'm fine, just family drama." "The same family drama that's had you camping out in the library until midnight all week." Before I can answer, my phone lights up again. This time, it's Mother's face on the screen. I silence it with perhaps more force than necessary. They're trying to refinance their house, I say, the words bitter in my mouth, to bail Jessica out of her mess. Again. David leans back in his chair, his expression carefully neutral. And this affects your thesis how? It doesn't. I straighten my spine, squaring my shoulders. My sister's poor life choices have nothing to do with my academic success. Interesting choice of words. He hands me back my proposal. Speaking of success, I've recommended you for the Maxwell Corporation internship. My heart skips. Maxwell Corporation, one of the most prestigious financial firms in the country. The kind of opportunity that could launch a career. The kind of success that would force my family to finally... My phone buzzes again. This time it's Lily. Your sister just showed up at our apartment. Says she needs to talk. I have to go, I say, gathering my things. But thank you, Professor. For everything. The walk home feels endless. Each step builds my anger until it's a living thing in my chest. Jessica showing up uninvited. Jessica probably expecting me to fix things. Jessica. I find her sitting on the floor outside my apartment, designer clothes wrinkled, makeup slightly smeared. She looks up when I approach, and for a moment, I see the sister I used to admire before the years of favoritism poisoned everything. You're ignoring everyone's calls, she says. Funny how that works. When someone doesn't want to talk to you, they don't answer the phone. She stands, brushing off her pants with shaking hands. Mother and father are mortgaging their retirement to help me. I need you to talk them out of it. I laugh, the sound sharp and ugly. Now you want my help? After years of watching them throw everything at you while I work 2 jobs to pay for grad school? That's not fair. Fair? I unlock my door, considering leaving her in the hallway. But Lily's inside, and this isn't her drama to witness. Come in. Let's talk about fair. Jessica follows me into my small apartment. Lily takes one look at us and makes a strategic retreat to her room. Eli's threatening to go to my boss, Jessica says, pacing my living room. If I don't pay him back by the end of the month, I'll lose everything. You mean you'll lose the image you've carefully constructed? The perfect daughter, the successful executive, the lie. She stops pacing, her face crumpling. You don't understand. I needed to be perfect. For them, for everyone. No, you needed to be better than me. And they let you believe you were, even when it was destroying you. Is that what this is about? You're enjoying watching me fail? The question hits closer to home than I'd like to admit. I'm not the one who gambled away $50,000. But you're the one who exposed it. She steps closer, desperate. Please, Sophia, help me convince them not to risk everything. You're the smart one, the responsible one. They'll listen to you. I almost laugh at the irony. They've never listened to me. Why start now? Because I'm asking you to. Because I'm your sister. The words hang between us, heavy with history and hurt. Through my window, I can see the sun setting, casting long shadows across my second-hand furniture. Everything in my life earned through hard work, while Jessica coasted on charm and favoritism. You're right, I say finally. I am the smart one, which is why I'm not getting involved. Sophia, get out, Jessica. Go back to mother and father. Let them sacrifice everything to save you, again, but leave me out of it. After she's gone, Lily emerges from her room. You okay? I look down at my phone, at the Maxwell Corporation email confirming my internship interview. I will be. Because for the first time, I see clearly what needs to be done. Jessica's downfall is just the beginning. It's time for the smart sister to show them all exactly what she's capable of. Aunt Maggie's kitchen has always been my sanctuary, but today, the familiar scent of coffee and cinnamon can't calm my racing thoughts. She sets a steaming mug in front of me and slides into the chair opposite, her eyes sharp with concern. Your mother called me this morning, she says. They're meeting with the bank tomorrow about the mortgage. I wrap my hands around the mug, letting the heat ground me. And I think it's time you knew something. She reaches for an old photo album, its corners worn and faded. About the real reason your parents always favored Jessica. My throat tightens. Don't make excuses for them. Not excuses, context. She opens the album to a photograph I've never seen. My mother, young and desperate looking, holding a baby Jessica. Your parents were broke when Jessica was born. Your father had just lost his job. They were about to lose the house. Then your grandfather died. What does this have to do with... He left everything to Jessica, put it in a trust fund. But there was a condition. Your parents had to be the trustees until she turned 30. The coffee turns bitter in my mouth. They've been controlling her money all this time. They've been living off it, the fancy cars, the country club membership, the renovations, all funded by Jessica's trust. They had to keep her happy, keep her dependent. When you came along, she trails off, letting me fill in the blanks. I was just an inconvenience, a drain on their resources. The revelation hits like a physical blow. Does Jessica know? I doubt it, but Eli does. My head snaps up. What? I did some digging after the barbecue. Eli works for the law firm that manages the trust. He's been using Jessica's gambling addiction to manipulate her, probably hoping to get his hands on the money when she turns 30 next year. The pieces click into place with sickening clarity. My parents' constant praise of Jessica, their dismissal of my achievements, their panic when I exposed her gambling. It was never about love. It was about control, about money. My phone buzzes, a text from Jessica. Need to talk, it's about Eli, please. She's meeting him for lunch today, Maggie says quietly. At that new place downtown, the Grove. I stand, my decision already made. I need to go. Sophia. Maggie's voice stops me at the door. Be careful, your parents, they won't let go of that money easily. The Grove is packed with the lunch crowd when I arrive. I spot Jessica and Eli at a corner table, their body language tense. Moving closer, I catch fragments of their conversation. You can't keep threatening me, Jessica hisses. I'll tell them everything. Eli's laugh is cold. Tell them what? How you gambled away your own money? Or how they've been embezzling from your trust fund for decades? Jessica goes pale. What are you talking about? Oh, sweetheart. His smile is all predator. Did you really think Daddy's investment firm was that successful? They've been stealing from you since before your sister was born. I step forward before Jessica can respond. And you've been helping them, haven't you, Eli? They both startle. Eli recovers first, his smile never wavering. Sophia, what an unexpected pleasure. Save it. I know about the trust fund, about your firm's involvement, about everything. Jessica looks between us, realization dawning in her eyes. Is it true? About mother and father? It's true. I meet Eli's gaze. And I'm guessing your firm has been taking their cut for keeping quiet. Clever girl. He leans back, studying me. But what are you going to do about it? Your parents have 20 years of paperwork justifying every penny. It would take a forensic accountant to prove anything. Good thing I'm about to start my internship at Maxwell Corporation's Forensic Accounting Division. I watch his smile fade. And good thing I recorded this entire conversation. Jessica makes a small broken sound. All this time, they were using me? We both were. I turn to leave, then pause. The question is, Jessica, what are you going to do about it? Walking away, I feel lighter than I have in years. Because now I understand this isn't just about revenge anymore. It's about justice. And I finally have the power to make them all pay. Behind me, I hear Jessica call my name. But I don't look back. Some bridges need to burn. The Maxwell Corporation lobby gleams with success and power. All polished marble and sleek steel. I adjust my blazer, feeling the weight of the recording device in my pocket. 2 weeks into my internship, and I'm already planning to burn it all down. Miss Chen. David appears beside me, his usual professional demeanor tinged with something else. Concern. Warning. A word before the meeting. He leads me to an empty conference room, closing the door with deliberate care. Your background check came back this morning. My pulse quickens, but I keep my voice steady. Is there a problem? That depends. He slides a folder across the table. On whether you plan to tell us about your connection to Eli Harrison and Sterling Law. Inside the folder are photos. Eli and me at the Grove, documents showing my family's connection to his firm, a detailed report of Jessica's trust fund. I did my own research after recommending you, David continues. You're brilliant, Sophia, but you're also playing a dangerous game. I'm not playing anything. Really? He leans forward. Because it looks like you're using Maxwell's forensic division to investigate your sister's trust fund. The same trust fund that Sterling Law manages. The same firm where your parents' financial records are kept. The silence stretches between us. Finally, I say, would that be a problem? It would be if Sterling Law wasn't already under federal investigation for fraud. The revelation hits like ice water. What? They've been running this scheme for years. Find wealthy families, set up trusts, help the parents embezzle while taking their cut. Your sister's case isn't unique, it's just their latest. My carefully constructed plan starts to crumble. How long have you known? Long enough to know you're in over your head. He taps the folder. The feds are watching everyone connected to Sterling, including your family, including you. A knock at the door makes us both jump. Lily stands there, her face pale. Sophia, you need to see this. She holds up her phone, showing a news alert. Sterling Law offices raided by FBI, multiple arrests made. Below is a photo of Eli being led out in handcuffs. My phone erupts with messages. Jessica, mother, father, all demanding answers, all assuming I somehow knew this was coming. But it's the last message that stops my heart. Thought you could outsmart me, didn't you? Eli. He knows, I whisper. David's expression hardens. What did you do? I recorded him admitting to the scheme, threatened to expose everything, and now he'll claim you were involved. That you knew about the fraud all along and were trying to blackmail him. David runs a hand through his hair. Do you realize what this means? I do. My revenge plan hasn't just backfired, it's exploded in my face. If Eli talks, I'll be implicated. If he doesn't, my family still loses everything. And somewhere in between, the truth about what I've been doing at Maxwell will come out. The FBI will want to talk to you, David says quietly. Soon. I need to warn Jessica. The words surprise me even as I say them. Your sister is the least of your problems right now. But he's wrong, because despite everything, despite the years of resentment and the careful plotting of revenge, I suddenly understand something. Jessica was as much a victim as I was. Different cage, same trap. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Aunt Maggie. Your parents are on their way to your office. They know about the recordings. I have to go. I gather my things, mind racing. David, He holds up a hand. Don't tell me anything else, but Sophia. His eyes meet mine. Sometimes the best revenge is surviving. I step into the hallway just as the elevator doors open, revealing my parents' furious faces. Behind them, I glimpse Jessica, her expression unreadable. Time slows as they approach, and in that moment, I realize David is right. This isn't about revenge anymore. It's about survival, and maybe, just maybe, about something else entirely. Because in Jessica's hand is a familiar manila envelope, the kind Sterling Law uses for trust documents, and in her eyes, I see something I never expected to find. Alliance. The game has changed. Now I just have to figure out how to play it. The FBI interview room feels smaller with each passing hour. Agent Torres slides another document across the table. Bank statements showing transfers between Sterling Law and my parents' accounts. Tell us about the recordings, Miss Chen. My lawyer, hastily arranged by David, shifts beside me. My client has already explained. Let me rephrase, Torres interrupts. Tell us why Eli Harrison claims you were part of the scheme from the beginning. The door opens before I can respond. Another agent enters, whispering something to Torres. His expression changes, and he gathers his papers quickly. Interview suspended at 2:47 p.m. He pauses at the door. Don't leave town, Miss Chen. This isn't over. In the hallway outside, Jessica waits, clutching that manila envelope like a shield. Our parents are notably absent. They're being charged, she says without preamble. Mother and father, the feds found evidence going back 15 years. How much did they take? Almost all of it. Her laugh is hollow. Turns out I've been broke since before I could walk. We both have. My lawyer excuses himself, leaving us alone in the sterile corridor. Jessica's hands shake as she opens the envelope. Found these in Father's study. Thought you should see them. She pulls out a stack of papers. College acceptance letters, scholarship offers, job recommendations. All addressed to me. All hidden away. They intercepted everything, she continues. Every opportunity you earned. They couldn't risk you becoming independent, showing me up, showing them up. The words hit like physical blows. Years of struggle, of working multiple jobs, of watching opportunities slip away, all orchestrated by my own parents. Why are you showing me this now? Because I made a deal with the FBI. Her voice hardens. Full immunity in exchange for everything I know, including what you've been doing at Maxwell. My blood runs cold. Jessica, you're not the only one who can play the long game, sister. She tucks the envelope under her arm. The question is, what are you going to do now? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. A text from Lily. Turn on the news now. The lobby television shows Eli at a press conference, looking polished despite his recent arrest. His words scroll across the bottom of the screen. Systematic fraud involving multiple parties, including Sophia Chen, who used her position at Maxwell Corporation to... Jessica mutes the TV. He's throwing you under the bus, just like they taught us. They? Our parents. Masters of manipulation, remember? She steps closer. But here's what Eli doesn't know. I kept records of everything. Every conversation, every threat, every deal they made using my trust fund. Why? Same reason you started recording things. Because eventually, everyone shows their true colors. She hands me a USB drive. Including me. The implications sink in. You knew. All along, you knew what they were doing. I knew they were using me to control you, knew they were stealing from me to maintain their lifestyle. Her smile is razor sharp. Just like I knew you'd eventually try to take them down. I just had to wait for the right moment. And this is it. Watching everything burn. This is survival. She checks her watch. The FBI is interviewing David in an hour. He'll tell them about your background check, your connection to Sterling Law. They'll think you were part of it all along. Unless we work together. My evidence proving your innocence, your recordings proving Eli's guilt. We take down the real villains, our parents, Sterling Law, all of them. The choice crystallizes. Trust the sister who helped destroy my life, or face federal charges alone. But something in Jessica's eyes makes me hesitate. What's your real angle here? Maybe I'm tired of being the favorite daughter in a house of lies. She starts walking away. You have until David's interview to decide. Choose wisely, little sister. This time, we both have everything to lose. I watch her disappear down the hallway, the USB drive heavy in my palm. On the television, Eli continues his performance, weaving a story where I'm the mastermind, not the victim. In my pocket, my phone buzzes with messages from Aunt Maggie, from Lily, from David, all warning me, all trying to help. But Jessica's words echo, choose wisely, because this isn't about revenge anymore. It's about legacy, about truth, about two sisters finally seeing each other clearly through the smoke of their burning world. I pull out my phone and make the call that will change everything. Agent Torres, I'm ready to talk. The courtroom feels like a stage, and we're all playing our parts. Mother and father in matching navy suits, looking appropriately contrite. Jessica in pristine white, the picture of innocence. Me, clutching a stack of evidence that could destroy us all. Miss Chen, the prosecutor begins, please describe your relationship with Sterling Law prior to your internship at Maxwell Corporation. I catch David's eye in the gallery. He gives an almost imperceptible nod. We prepared for this, but before I can answer, Jessica stands. I'd like to amend my previous testimony. The judge peers over his glasses. Miss Chen, the elder Miss Chen, you understand you're still under oath? I do. Jessica's voice carries that familiar confidence, the one that always made people believe her lies. I need to clarify something about my sister's involvement. My lawyer tenses beside me. This wasn't part of the plan. The recordings Sophia made, Jessica continues, weren't her idea. They were mine. The courtroom erupts in whispers. I grip the witness stand, knuckles white. Order, the judge demands. Continue, Miss Chen. I asked Sophia to help me gather evidence against Eli and our parents. I manipulated her, used her position at Maxwell, just like I've been manipulated and used my entire life. The prosecutor approaches the bench, but I barely hear their heated discussion. Because behind Jessica, I see Mother's face transform, not with anger or betrayal, but with something worse, recognition, pride. You taught her well, I whisper, but only Father hears me. His flinch is almost satisfying. The judge calls a recess. In the hallway, Jessica catches my arm. Trust me, she hisses. This is the only way. The only way to what? Save yourself again? To save us both. She glances around before continuing. Eli made a deal. He's going to testify that you orchestrated everything, the recordings, the fraud investigation, all of it. But if I take the blame, I'll still lose everything. You'll be free. Her grip tightens. Isn't that what you wanted? Before I can respond, Aunt Maggie appears. The FBI needs to speak with you both, now. The interview room feels smaller than before. Agent Torres lays out new evidence. Emails between Jessica and Eli dating back years, planning something bigger than anyone suspected. You weren't just gathering evidence, Torres says. You were building your own scheme, using your sister's revenge plot as cover while you siphoned money from other Sterling Law clients. Jessica doesn't flinch. I learned from the best. And now you're willing to take the fall for everything? Torres turns to me. Does that sound like the sister you know? It doesn't, but nothing about my family has ever been what it seemed. Time's up, ladies. Torres stands. The DA's offering one deal for one sister. You have until morning to decide who takes it. In the corridor, David waits with Lily. Their faces tell me everything. My job at Maxwell is gone, my future in finance destroyed. All my careful plans reduced to ashes. I have to ask, David says quietly. Did you know about Jessica's other activities? Does it matter? My laugh sounds hollow even to me. Everyone already believes I did. Jessica approaches, still pristine in her white suit. Mother and Father want to talk to us, one last time. No. Sophia, haven't they taken enough? But even as I say it, I'm following her. Some habits die harder than others. Our parents wait in an empty conference room. Mother reaches for me, but I step back. We did what we thought was best, she begins. Save it. Jessica's voice could freeze hell. You have one chance to make this right. Sign over everything, the house, the accounts, all of it. Take full responsibility. Father laughs. Or what? Or I tell the FBI about the other families, the other trusts, everything I've documented since I was 16. The silence is deafening. I look at my sister, really look at her, and see a stranger. Someone who's been playing a much longer game than I ever imagined. You'll implicate yourself, Mother warns. Maybe. Jessica smiles, and it's Mother's smile, Father's ambition. But I learned from you. Always have a backup plan. She turns to me, and I finally understand. I wasn't just her sister or her rival. I was her insurance policy, her witness, her judge. Choose, Sophia, she says softly. Who burns with them, you or me? The answer should be simple, but as I stand there, watching my family's carefully constructed world crumble, I realize there's only one choice that matters. Who am I willing to become to see justice done? The morning headlines scream what we've all known was coming. Sterling law partners indicted. Prominent family named in multi-million-dollar fraud. Below, my parents' mugshots stare back at me, their faces finally showing their true age. I find Jessica in our childhood home, methodically emptying drawers into boxes. The place feels hollow already, stripped of its pretense. They're looking for the backup drives, she says without turning around. The ones with the real records. And? Mother swears they're in Father's study. She finally faces me. But we both know better, don't we? The air between us crackles with 27 years of competition, manipulation, and unspoken truths. You never needed my help, I say. You had everything you needed to take them down years ago. Maybe I wanted to see what you'd do. She pulls something from her pocket, a small key. When you finally saw the truth, my breath catches. The key to our grandfather's safe deposit box. The one thing our parents never found. How long have you had that? Since the day they told me about the trust fund. The day I realized what they were doing to you. She sets it on the desk between us. I've been waiting for you to be ready. A knock at the door makes us both jump. David stands there, looking grave. Eli's changing his story again. He's claiming both of you were involved from the beginning. The FBI is on their way. Jessica's laugh is bitter. Of course he is. Did you tell her the rest? David hesitates. Maxwell's board is offering you a deal, Sophia. Testify against your family, keep your internship, start fresh. And Jessica? Goes down with them. The silence stretches, heavy with implication. Everything I wanted, recognition, validation, a clean slate, right there for the taking. That's what this was all about, wasn't it? I asked Jessica. Pushing me toward Maxwell, making sure I found those messages on your phone. You needed someone clean, someone credible. I needed my sister back. Her voice cracks. The one they tried to erase. Footsteps echo down the hallway. FBI agents, coming to collect more evidence, more confessions, more pieces of our shattered family. The drives, Jessica says urgently. They'll prove everything. Every client they stole from, every lie they told. But they'll also show that you knew, that you helped them, just like they trained you to. She nods, mask finally slipping. Your choice, Sophia. Justice or revenge, truth or freedom. You can't have both. The footsteps grow closer. David shifts nervously. Whatever you're going to do it now. My hand hovers over the key. Years of resentment, of fighting for scraps of attention while Jessica basked in the spotlight. Years of watching her play our parents' game perfectly, never knowing she was playing her own all along. Where are the drives? Where Mother would never look. Jessica's smile is sad. In your old room, hidden in plain sight, just like you. The agents are at the door now. Time's up. I pocket the key and face the door. Agent Torres, there's something you need to see. Jessica's sharp intake of breath behind me almost makes me falter. Almost. The real records, I continue, aren't in Father's study. They're upstairs, and they'll show you exactly who orchestrated this whole thing. Torres raises an eyebrow. And who would that be? I meet Jessica's eyes in the reflection of the window. In them, I see the same calculation, the same steel that kept her playing the perfect daughter all these years. But I also see something else. Understanding. All of us, I say finally. Every single one of us. Because that's what this family taught us to do. Jessica's hand finds mine as the agents move past us toward the stairs. In her grip, I feel 27 years of shared history. The competition, the betrayals, but also the moments of silent solidarity. The times we protected each other without even knowing it. Together then, she whispers. I squeeze her hand once before letting go. Together. Because in the end, revenge wasn't about destroying my family. It was about destroying the lies that built it. And maybe, just maybe, finding something true in the ashes. The agents disappear upstairs and we wait, sister beside sister, for the world we built to finally come crashing down. The courthouse steps feel different today. No reporters, no cameras, just autumn leaves skittering across marble as Jessica and I watch our parents being led away in handcuffs. 10 years, Jessica murmurs. Seems light for destroying so many lives. The restitution payments will hurt more. I adjust my scarf against the wind. They'll never recover from this. Will we? The question hangs between us like smoke. Behind us, Aunt Maggie approaches, her heels clicking on stone. The house is cleared out, she says. Most of it's going to auction to pay back the victims. Jessica's hand tightens on her purse, the one containing our grandfather's key. Not everything. We drive in silence to the bank, 3 women carrying the weight of unspoken truths. The safe deposit box feels impossibly small to contain so much damage. Inside, we find more than just documents. Photos of Jessica and me as children, before the manipulation started. College acceptance letters addressed to me, a journal in our grandfather's handwriting. He knew, Maggie says softly, about their schemes, their plans for both of you. The trust fund was his attempt to protect you. Fat lot of good that did. Jessica's laugh is hollow. They just used it as another weapon. But we survived it, I say, surprising myself. We're still here. Are we? Jessica turns to me. The perfect daughter and the invisible one. Isn't that still who we are? No. I pick up a photo. Us as children, arms around each other, smiling real smiles. We're something else now. David meets us at the office, looking tired but determined. The board's decision is final. They're keeping you on, Sophia, but in compliance, not finance. Watching the watchdog, Jessica notes. Smart of them. And you, I ask her. Community service, supervised release, and a lifetime ban from financial services. She shrugs. Could be worse. It will be, Maggie cuts in. The social fallout's just beginning. People don't forget scandals like this. Let them remember, I say. Let them see exactly what happens when you build a family on lies. Jessica touches the photo in my hand. And what happens when you tear it down? The answer comes in pieces over the next few hours. In Lily, helping us sort through the wreckage of our childhood home. In David, offering to mentor me through the career change. In Aunt Maggie's quiet strength as she helps us navigate our new reality. We find it in the grandfather's journal, detailing his own struggles with our parents' manipulation. His final entry reads, "The truth will cost them everything, but it might save my granddaughters." The sun is setting when Jessica and I finally face each other in our emptied family home. I kept waiting, she says, for the satisfaction to hit. The moment when destroying them would feel like victory. It never does. I trace the familiar pattern on the wallpaper one last time. That's what they never taught us. So what now? We just move on? No. I pull out the photo from the safe deposit box. We start over, not as their daughters, not as victims or victors, just as ourselves. And who are we without their lies? The question echoes through the empty house, through 27 years of carefully constructed facades and calculated moves, through all the plans for revenge that led us here. I don't know, I admit, but I want to find out. Jessica studies me for a long moment, then reaches into her purse and pulls out a sealed envelope. The last piece of evidence, the one that would have guaranteed longer sentences for both of them. I look at the envelope, understanding the choice she's offering. One final act of revenge, or the first step towards something else. Without opening it, I tear it in half. Jessica's smile is small but real. Perhaps the first genuine one I've seen since we were children. Together then? Together, I agree. But not for them anymore. For us, we lock the door one last time, leaving behind the echoes of ambition and revenge that shaped us. Ahead lies uncertainty, judgment, the weight of our choices. But as we walk away from the house that built and nearly destroyed us, I realize something our parents never understood. Sometimes the greatest victory isn't in destroying your enemies, but in refusing to let them destroy you. The truth cost us everything, just as our grandfather predicted, but in losing it all, we finally found ourselves.